Today we are talking about one of the best Kaspa miners, honestly one of the best ASICs in the world. Now currently at the making of this video, Kaspa has been going down, so it's about 10 cents right now, anywhere from 10 to 11 cents, and this machine's making about $20. Now keep in mind that is before overclock. There's some free overclocks, there's some overclocks that you can pay for, so that'll definitely change. You can certainly get this up to like $27, maybe even $28 a day, but keep in mind about a month ago, this machine was making $50 to $60 with overclock. I've seen it higher and lower. It really depends on the hash rate and also what the price of Kaspa is. So if you were looking to pick up a Kaspa miner, I did get this one from Crypto Miner Bros. Shout out to them. You can save $50 by using the code DJMINES. It's about $4,400 at the making of this video. So I also have a KS3, a different KS2, and I have to say, man, this one's a little bit different. Now, I've heard different things about it. It's not just the cool sticker that's right here. The sticker's actually kind of nice, but I mean, that doesn't really change things for the most part. What I really like about Kaspa miners in general is the low wattage, because somebody like me, I have a really high electric rate. I mean, really high. It's 20 cents. Last month I was at 15. I pretty much average around 17 or 18 cents. So this is like the perfect miner for me because your electric rate doesn't really matter that much. If you look up the difference between 10 cents and 15 cents or even 20 cents, it's really not a big difference. It might be like $1 or sometimes it's only 75 cents or $1.25. So it's not like a really big deal. So I think people with higher electric rate, this is going to be a great buy. So the KS2 is at 2 terahash and that is at 1200 watts. Again, that's without overclock. You can get slightly less. You can get slightly above if you add the overclock, maybe like to 1500 watts. Something to keep in mind though, you know, I'm not used to having ASICs this low wattage. It's really awesome because something like this one, this is the KS3. This baby is a full size ASIC. I mean, actually, this is a full size ASIC. It just doesn't use as much wattage. I mean, the size of the machine is pretty much the same thing. So my favorite thing though about these Kaspa miners is definitely the low wattage, man. You really can't compete with the low wattage. At the end of the day, I think I'll be able to confidently say, yeah, I can mine with this for the next year or two, hopefully, depending on the network hash rate. I mean, it's just such a low amount of wattage. If I use that KS2 and this KS2 combined without overclock would be 2400 watts. Again, still significantly less than something like a KS3. Now, if you're wondering about the sound, it is pretty loud. I'm not gonna lie to you. Certainly not as loud as the KS3. I would say, depending on your overclocks, your environment, the heat and everything, it's pretty much a little bit louder than an octominer, maybe 100% fan, something around there in that region. So it's certainly gonna be a lot louder than your GPU. All right, the miner should kick on at any second now. Get ready, boys. Warning, it's about to be loud. But you can get one of these silencer kits. That's what I'm using, and it probably reduces the sound by at least 50%, and it runs a lot cooler. But you don't have to get that, but it certainly is an option. I got this one from Fruition Designs. So we definitely have to talk about network hash rate. That's probably going to be one of the biggest factors when you're trying to decide, do I want a KS0, do I want a KS1, a KS2, or KS3? KS2 is pretty nice because it's fairly affordable at $4,400. I know a lot of people can't afford that, but if you compare it to, like I said, the KS3, I think these are going for around $16,000. It really just depends when you're watching this video. It is certainly not affordable for everyone, but it's not such a large commitment that you're like purchasing a car or something. I think this is probably the most popular model when it comes to the mid-size, because this is upper mid-size, and I'd say the KS1 is certainly more affordable for your average person, but you know, you're not going to get nearly as much hash rate, so it really depends. But as far as the network hash rate, we're at 117 terahash, which is huge, and it only continues to go up and up, so you're going to yield less and less coin. The thing is, when it comes to Kaspa, if I have to be honest with you, it's one of those things you either have to get in or just don't get in at all. When it comes to the mining side, buying the coin is going to be completely different. Now, why I say you kind of have to get into it early, I know that sounds cheesy, but you got to understand, again, that network hash rate is just going up and up and up, and unless the price of Kaspa 2x's or 3x's, I mean, it's going to be tough, right? So if you're looking at it from like a day-to-day profitability, it might not seem like the best deal. I totally understand that, especially with the difficulty going up, and if the price isn't at the making of this video, again, like 10, 11 cents, you're kind of like, it might not be worth it, but you got to get in early. Again, I know that sounds so cheesy. It sounds really bad, but it's one of those things, man. If you're not already in it, it just becomes more and more difficult as time goes on. And these things are supposed to pay themselves off around 3 months. At the making of this video, it's about 4 months right now, which still isn't bad at all. But then again, is it really going to end up being 4 months? It's hard to say. At the end of the day, this is a top 30 coin, right? Kaspa is not some small fry. This isn't the top 1,000 or top 2,000 coin. This is a fairly established, or actually very established coin. And I personally think 2025 Kaspa will go up. I don't know that for sure. I just kind of have that feeling. And everything that I hodl, I don't sell at all because I just really believe in Kaspa. I love the project and I love mining it. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the actual ASIC itself. Again, this is about $4,400. These have kind of cooled off. At one point, this was going for $6,000, I think just last month, but the price of Kaspa has been adjusting and everything. So yeah, again, do I think next month's going to be cheaper? I think it probably will. But at the same time, if Kaspa 2X's, will it actually be cheaper? I don't think so, because we did start to see a trend where Kaspa miners were going down in price anywhere from 20 to 30% every month. But then suddenly we went from 5 cents to what, 20 cents or something crazy like that. And then, yeah, pretty much the machines were costing more as the hash rate was increasing. So how can I tell you confidently that this will be cheaper or more expensive next month? There's really no way for me. So now I want to talk about what is the best Kaspa miner for you. Honestly, if you don't have a lot of money and you just like Kaspa, but you're not really too interested in getting all this money, right? That's not the most important thing for you. Certainly the KS0 Pro is going to be your best option. That being said, over time, I personally think the lower the model you go, so like KS0 and KS1, the quicker they will kind of become outdated. Not saying that any of these will ever become outdated. I don't know what the future entails. There could be new machines coming. There could not. Right? Everything could change, but the KS0 would be a nice, I'm part of the network kind of vibe. KS1's a nice step up. Actually, it's a really big step up, especially with the overclock. The KS1 is always going to be a much better buy than a bunch of KS0s, simply because the overclock gets you closer to 2 terahash. So if you're in like that $2,000, maybe even $3,000 price range, I think the KS1 is going to be a much better buy than a bunch of KS0s, just my opinion. But if you're trying to get a little bit more involved, say you get the KS2, something like that. KS2 is really solid, and I think it's probably the most popular miner when it comes to the mid-grade. I would say the mid-level Kaspa miners are going to be the KS1, which I don't have. It's probably the only miner that I don't have from Kaspa, and then the KS2 certainly are in those mid-grade. And then, of course, right, KS3, I mean, some people, this is going to be a really hard buy. It was super hard for me to put the money down because I do buy my ASICs with my own money. So, no crazy discounts here. I wish I did, but hey, these things are expensive, man. So when it comes to Kaspa, there's a lot of things to think about. Which is the right Kaspa miner for me? It really just depends on your situation and how much you believe in this. You got to understand though, we are in the bear market. The bear market is where you build. So that's why I've chosen to build all of these. I mean, I'm GPU mining, I'm ASIC mining, I'm buying the coin, I'm doing everything that I possibly can. I think the value of this could potentially go up. I like to think that at least I'll get my money back during the bull run. If you remember something like Cadena, which maybe isn't the best example, but it's kind of the most common compared coin between the two, right? Cadena and Kaspa. Is this going to pull Cadena? I would say certainly this is not going to pull a Cadena because it would have happened by now. Cadena, as soon as their KA3s came out after the gold shales, the whole thing just went down and crashed and burned. And kind of the opposite has actually happened when it comes to Kaspa. Honestly, as soon as the ASICs came out, everything has accelerated, continued to go up, and people are pumping money into it. Don't know how long that will last, but I think certainly you should at least at a minimum get your money back. But who knows what the future will tell. What if Kaspa becomes a top 10 coin, a top 20 coin? We've seen it get to number 25 already, which honestly is something that I thought would never happen in this time, like not this short amount of time. During a bear run, a top 25 coin. Right now, I think Kaspa is ranked number 32. So again, this isn't like some small time coin that you're getting involved in. This is pretty established, and I don't want to say safe because it hasn't proven itself throughout a bull run, but it's probably the safest small time coin that had a huge run up that a lot of people are passionate about. So let me know if you are interested in these Kaspa miners. Would you buy one of these Kaspa miners? How about this? If you were given $5,000 for free, which Kaspa miner would you get? Would you get a couple KS1s? Would you get a bunch of KS0s? I know you can't get the KS3 or KS2 or whatever, just for fun. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm really interested in that. Like I said, I got this one from Crypto Miner Bros, and it's pretty awesome. I have no issues with it. It's not dirty. Some of the other miners that I got were pretty dirty and shipped a lot slower. So maybe that's DHL, maybe it's not. It's really hard to say, but all in all, I'm very happy with this purchase. It's been making money, and it has been offline to make this video for probably at least 30 minutes because shout out to my wife for recording this, by the way, but it needs to go back online. So I'm about to turn that thing on right now. Let me know in the comment section below what you would do with $5,000 if you had it and which miner you would get, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.